All aboard. La Mirar threw quite a wrench into the trial but when her blindness was revealed, but also at the same time somehow able to accuse Darian Crescent of murder, despite all evidence seeming to say that there is no way she should have heard his voice in that room. Let's see how that came about, shall we? Hey, Apollo! What? Well, actually, nothing. I mean, something, or maybe not. Out with it! The suspense is giving me an ulcer! Well, the trial today? I was thinking, if you gave it a score, what score would you give it? Score? G. I guess I would, or maybe, well... I'm just as bad as you! See? It's so vague. Clearly. Machi avoided a guilty verdict, which is something. Though I can't say I'm any less confused about the case. I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. And the victim, Mr. Latouche. Who would have guessed he was actually an undercover Interpol agent? What a mess. And we don't have any idea what he was investigating. Well, true, but we know who shot him now. La Mirar told the whole court. Wait, that voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it. That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darian. Oh, ad break. It's another mystery, Apollo! I love mysteries. I don't. Speaking of mysteries, what's Mr. Wright up to? I wouldn't mind asking his opinion. Now that you mention it, I haven't seen Daddy around. What, is he some kind of stray that just wanders in and out at will? I wouldn't say that, but he has been going out a lot. Some top secret mission, he said. Top secret? Anyway, you can't just rely on him to save the day. And you've got me to help you. We'll be fine. Fine. Right. Well, time's a-wasting, as they say. Let's investigate. That's the spirit. La Mirar dropped a bomb in court today. It was Darian. La Mirar said she's never forgotten a voice, right? That's so cool. I guess. What's that called again? Elephant ears? I bet that's what they're called. Somehow I don't think that means what you think it means. And she has to be wrong this time. Wrong? Why? I mean, look. Those gunshots were right during the concert. That's right. I was burning up the dance floor at the time. Right. Did you happen to look up on stage? Maybe at Darian even? You bet I did. He is one of the governor's guitarists after all. He's so cool. Oh. Right. All the governors have a rock-solid alibi. He couldn't have shot Mr. Latouche backstage. But La Mirar heard him, didn't she? She heard Darian backstage, right? Somebody's either wrong or lying very badly here. An Interpol agent.
I was wondering, what is Interpol anyway?
Huh? Interpol? They're the guys who catch international criminals.
Why can't they just call them international police instead of thinking of some silly name?
Yeah. Anyway, you think he was investigating La Mirar?
What? Why would anyone do that? She's not a criminal. She couldn't be.
Don't be fooled by appearances, is all I'm saying.
But remember, I'm a magician, Apollo. I could spot a palmed coin in 50 paces.
If only it were that easy. In any case, we know he was working on something.
I wonder if it was something that has to do with something. That something being our case. The last something, I mean.
Something like that. Frankly, the whole thing is making my head hurt. What was Mr. Latouche up to? Ah! Ha 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 ha! Trucy, was that another one of your tricks?
It wasn't me! I can't even make Mr. Hat laugh like that.
Wherever the mundane gives way to miracles, a word is whispered. Grammari!
Hey, the other day!
Eee! Who's there?
We didn't just imagine that, did we?
He was wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours?
Hardly!
We meet again! Nice to meet you. Who are you? And could you please stop smirking like that?
It's you, Uncle Valent!
Uncle Valent? He's your uncle?
No, silly! It's the great Grammari, Valent Grammari! The Grand Magician!
Yes, it is I, the great Valent Grammari, as seen on television. And could you please stop smirking like that? It's been a while, Miss Trucy. 7 years, to be exact. My, how you've grown.
Good to see you again, Uncle Valent. You look exactly the same.
I hate to intrude, but what is a great magician doing paying us a visit? I believe it was you who wished to see me. So, be quick with your questions. And do not quail, quake, or quiver. I am quite tame. Though my stardom may sear the sight, I'm quite down to earth when need calls. Technically, Interpol is a full-on agency itself, but an organization that's the place from around the world basically work, collaborate with dealing with international crime and criminals.
Oh. News to me.
He does have a certain aura to him, it's true.
Let's ask him about the case, Apollo.
His aura sure isn't lost on our magician in the making. She's practically drooling with enthusiasm.
After all, Uncle Valent's one of Daddy's best friends. That's why I call him Uncle.
What? Daddy? You mean Mr. Right?
No, I mean my real daddy.
Trucy's real father?
Wait, Apollo, don't tell me you don't know about Troop Grammari?
Troop Grammari? No. But it does sound kind of familiar. Oh, lost life, lamentably listless lad! Do not know of the greatest troop of magicians on the planet! Valent Grammari. The name began to surface in my mind. She has a real father? I thought she was just there.
You'll learn.
It was a name I'd heard on television as a child.
You bet you've heard the name! He made a cruise ship disappear and blew up an amusement park! Oh, and he made all this gold disappear from a safe! And then escaped from a high-security prison!
You said he is a magician? I open the locks to hearts chained by mediocrity. This is the true miracle of Troop Grammari. Yeah. Wait.
What, Apollo?
I do remember seeing you on television a long time ago. Weren't you with someone else? Like a duo?
A duo?
Yeah, you had a partner. Something Grammari. Yes, Zach Grammari. A masterful maker of magic, a capable crafter of shining showmanship. Why is everyone so quiet?
Daddy.
Daddy? Huh? Oh, no way! Once upon a time, Troop Grammari included 2 grand magicians. Myself, Valiant Grammari, and my partner, Zach Grammari. And this Zach was...
He was my real daddy.
Trucy's father, a magician. I guess it makes sense. If you can't figure it out, then you really are thick-headed, Apollo. It's his forehead, mostly. It's built like a Pachycephalosaurus. I had no idea.
There wasn't much point in talking about it. Not now that he's gone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm not lonely. I've got my daddy after all. And you make me laugh, Apollo.
Glad that I'm good for comic relief, at least.
Not that I see daddy around much these days.
Ah! I've been remiss in remembering my reasons for my visit. Reasons? 2, in fact. The first being, of course, to see you, Miss Trucy.
You don't know how happy I am to see you again, Uncle Valiant.
I'm sure you are. Not one for modesty, are you? When I encountered you at the Colosseum the first time in 7 years, I could feign not contain my emotions. I wept oceans. And to learn you now defend that poor pianist, that blinded boy. 'Twas a hot topic of talk amongst the staff, you know. And defend him you did.
Well, it wasn't all my doing.
I'm his defense attorney, actually. My other reason for coming here today was this.
That's a videotape?
Quite so, a recording of the concert, no less. I've brought it for you, Trucy, on behalf of Troop Grammari. Will you watch it?
Wow, it's almost as good as it was live. So, what's the word? Mysterious.
There are more mysterious things than her song going on. Way more mysterious. This Valiant Grammari has good reasons to be here today. But I wonder what his reasons were to be at that concert? So, I was wondering, that stunt in the middle of the song there.
I didn't see a stunt.
What about Lamirar vanishing and reappearing?
Oh, that? I guess I'm so used to seeing that happen I didn't even notice.
So young to be so jaded. A simple sleight of hand, a petite prestidigitation. A modicum of magic from me to you.
So that's why you were at the concert.
Yes, I was there to watch my trick take to the air. So you're the one who knows how it was all done. Of course, I am like a deity with the stage as my domain. I suffer no mystery upon those floodlit boards not grasped tightly twixt my fingers. It is a potent, primeval power I possess. Well, do you think you could tell me how it was done?
Hey now!
Trucy?
That's like totally against the rules, Apollo!
Not during a murder investigation, it's not! Mine own, for my illusions are mine alone, monsieur. Also what? Recall that the terrible occurrence happened later. Well, after my illusion entranced the audience. Oh, don't even ask, I won't answer.
Too bad for you, Apollo.
Whose side are you on? I, Valence Grimari, now make my leave, Miss Trucy.
There's no need to rush, Uncle Valent. You should stay a while.
I'm afraid I cannot. I may not. I shall not. I have been asked to assist with an analysis, and so I shall slink back to the scene. So, you'll be at the concert venue today? Correct. If you would call on me, come to the Coliseum. See you later, crocodile. With a whirl of his cloak and a wink of his eye, he turned and walked out through the door. Normally.
Well, there you go, Apollo. Let's get cracking.
Right. Valent Grimari. I've got a few more things to ask him. Foremost among them, that bit of magic that made La Mirage disappear. And how he knows Trucy and her real father. Machi may not be guilty, but he's still a suspect.
But they don't have any decisive evidence.
Yeah, but only someone as small as him could have gotten out of that room.
Right, the air vent.
And he lied.
Lied?
Machi Tobai can see.
Ah, Machi!
Speak of the devil.
He looks like he's doing okay.
I forget. Why do we come here? It's not like we can talk to him or anything.
Words are overrated. Feelings are what matter, Apollo.
It's kind of hard to build a court case on feelings. But since we're here anyway, might as well get what I want to say off my chest.
If you need someone to complain to, I'll listen.
I think she's actually worried for me.
So, what did you think of the trial today? Phew, I'm glad he doesn't understand English after all. If he did, he would have been scared out of his mind by that trial.
Hey, all's well that ends well. You have to be more goal-oriented. If he's innocent, we win.
No, if he's found not guilty, we win. Machi might not understand English, but I bet he gets that better than you do.
Huh?
I'm glad La Mirage testified. What a great person. She even got Machi off the hook by naming another suspect.
Daryan of the Gaviners, the detective. I wonder if Machi knows what happened. I mean, if he could follow how the trial went at all. If no one told him there's a new suspect, how would he know? Hey.
What is it, Apollo?
No, it's nothing. I must be imagining it.
Imagining what, Apollo?
It's just, I couldn't help but feel that, I don't know, Machi, he doesn't understand what we're saying, right?
How could he? He's a young Borginian. He doesn't speak English.
Yeah, but my bracelet is reacting to him.
Huh? Maybe it's malfunctioning? Or it's scared because you keep on making those I'm so mad faces.
Was I that bad? Machi lied about not being able to see. But what if that's not all he lied about?
If you're curious about it, there's only one thing to do. You should ask him.
I think it'll take something big to get to him. Some kind of undeniable evidence. We'll be back, Machi.
So Machi, you can see, right? Machi can see and La Mirage can't. The whole world's gone topsy-turvy. Sorry, Apollo, I don't think we're going to get any information out of Machi. Which makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Woo! What a great day! It's perfect weather for sleuthing.
The weather matters for an investigation?
Don't some days just feel like magic days or defense days?
Sure. Let's get started, shall we?
Right on! Show us your stuff, Apollo.
What stuff?
Your voice training! This is the perfect place for it!
I did enough at home, thanks.
Aw, there's no need to be shy. Keep that up and you'll never make it on the big stage.
I'm happy in the courtroom, thank you. I am a lawyer.
Then you're in luck because it's lawyer weather today. Don't you just want to face the blue sky and shout, "Objection"?
Look, the weather has nothing to do with lawyers. Let's get going already.
Ah, Mr. Attorney.
Let me roar. I'm sorry about today.
There is nothing you need to apologize for. You were merely defending Machi. Are you okay? Alone, I mean? Humans are blessed with 5 senses. Even robbed of one, we get by. Though it does make being a witness rather difficult. Speaking of seeing, you knew who we were before we spotted you just now. And we weren't even talking. I heard your footsteps several times the day before. Oh, you must have great ears.
Ears that heard the crime taking place. Or so she claimed yesterday. But how? That was quite the statement you made today in court. About hearing Darian Crescent's voice at the scene of the crime.
I did not know his name, but I never forget a voice.
Wait! La Mirage? Is something the matter?
That voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it.
No way!
As I said in court, I was on my way backstage from the stage. That is when I heard his voice.
I'm guessing Darian and Mr. Latouche were talking about something?
The next moment, I heard those gunshots.
Why didn't you call security?
To be honest, though the noise was quite frightening, I never imagined the gunshots might be real. And I was in quite a hurry myself. I left the scene at once. So, it really was Darian's voice that she heard.
Yeah. At least, she certainly thinks it was.
I met Machi before my debut as La Mirage. I was singing in a restaurant in Borginia.
And he was playing the piano?
Yes. He was very kind to me when he learned I could not see.
Is that when you started playing opposites? With Machi pretending he couldn't see?
Ah, no, it wasn't then. That began after our major debut. After I became known as the landscape painter and sound. It must have been tough for Machi, pretending he couldn't see and all the while acting as your eyes. We held hands always. He would write with his finger on my palm to signal to me things I should know. He is a smart, gentle boy.
I think I see what she's getting at. Machi would never harm a soul. About Mr. Latouche.
Ah yes, he was an Interpol agent, I hear?
So, you had no idea?
Of course not. No one did. I guess that's what it means to be undercover.
But someone was after him. They had to know who he really was.
Why did he pose as my manager? I do not understand.
You have no idea?
I can only assume that he was investigating me. But why?
What makes you think that?
Perhaps it is not so, but I cannot deny the possibility, because of my condition. As my present is veiled in darkness, so too is my past clouded from memory.
Clouded, right.
The darkness that I fear is not the darkness that I see whenever I open my eyes. The real darkness lies in my heart.
In your heart?
I have no memory of the time before I became La Mirar. I awoke from darkness into darkness, you might say. I was singing in a restaurant those days.
What was it that she said about not being able to remember the light?
I do not know my past. Perhaps I committed some terrible crime in my past. Everything before becoming La Mirar is lost to me. But I don't think you... I can think of no other explanation. Why else would an agent of Interpol approach me?
Do you think your past might be related to this case?
No way! That seems really unlikely to me. I mean, you're such a sweet person, La Mirar. I thank you. Machi too tells me this often when I fear who I might have been.
We took a look at your performance again. It was even better the second time.
Thank you. That reminds me, that was an incredible illusion you pulled off. Illusion? When you teleported from one stage to the other, remember? Ah, yes. Apparently they hired a professional magician.
Valiant Gramari. I was wondering, do you think you could tell us how it was done?
I'm afraid I cannot. Mr. Gramari made me swear to never tell a soul.
I was afraid of that.
Hard to be a magician if you can't keep a secret, you know. I am reminded that I wish to speak to you about something.
Yes?
When I was walking this hallway before, I stumbled upon a small device of some kind. It was lying on the floor.
Device? Maybe you mean this?
That's been lying there since the day before yesterday. Might I touch it? I thought as much.
What? What did you think?
This is one of our headsets. Everyone on staff wears one during a concert.
I wonder whose this is.
We use it for communication. It would be quite inconvenient should it go missing.
We'll hold on to it for you then. We'll give it to Prosecutor Gavin when we see him.
Yes, that's best. Thank you. So, can I put it on? Headset attached to Trucy. Attached? I'm not some kind of robot, Apollo.
Everyone on staff was wearing one of these headsets. This might warrant some further inquiry.
That song, isn't that the one La Mirar was singing?
Yeah, you're right. The guitar Serenade.
Wow, I'd love to do a show on a stage like this.
I'd come to see that.
The house is full, and as one, the audience sighs with wonderment. There I am, singing my ballad, rose petals swirling through the air.
Not bad. Wait, aren't you a magician?
Oh, that's right. I was a magician, wasn't I?
Some dedication. Aha! If it isn't Miss Trucy! And indeed it is!
Uncle Valiant!
What exactly are you doing here? I take real responsibility in tasks undertaken. I am inspecting my equipment of illusion to make sure naught is amiss.
The La Mirar teleportation illusion! Ooh!
Should anything go wrong, it would reflect poorly upon me and my troupe. As I went about my exacting examination, I happened to notice that piano. And I remembered that fair lady's melancholy melody.
Hey Apollo, maybe Uncle Valiant can shed some light on this whole thing for us. I was wondering about the show the night of the murder. La Mirar's vanishing act was your illusion, right?
Indeed! The purple prosecutor petitioned my performance. At the climax of the song, he said, "Make her disappear, like a dream." Like a dream. Yet, what can I work with on a stage meant for musical endeavors? There are none of the conveniences of a stage built for sorceress acts. It was a challenging task, and so I accepted. She disappeared from the top of the tower, but in order to move, you would have had to use some sort of secret tunnel. People come to me because I'm a professional among professionals. My illusions are custom made for a time and a place. Now, because of the murder, all the eyes of the nation are on this concert. Not a bad thing as far as the fortunes of Troupe Grammari are concerned.
So, you were here checking up on your trick to make sure it went well.
And went well it did! Now, speaking of pianos, that piano over there troubles me. It troubles you? Why? Why? Why do you ask why? I think it's probably quicker if I just go check it out myself, thanks. I know what you're thinking in that head of yours. Grammari, yes, you say. I recall seeing him on television. Something of that sort. Actually, yes, you're right.
Wow, you just read your mind, Apollo.
Or everyone tells him that and he made a good guess. It was 20 years ago. A young magician, a genius of his time, came down among us. His name was Magnifique Grammari. It was he who began the great Troupe Grammari. At his prime, not a day passed that he did not play upon the screens of every TV there was. I do have a vague memory of someone like that on TV. Yet, several years ago, that time came to an end. My troupe pulled a vanishing act, yes. Cries for magic no longer heard, the TV screen a barren waste, stripped of illusion!
But that's not true. I still went to all your shows. Like that one in the parking lot down at the supermarket.
When you start playing in supermarket parking lots, you know you're in trouble. We hone our skills at these small venues, always awaiting our time. Yes, one day we will rise up from obscurity onto fame's shining stage once more. I do this not only for the magic that is Grammari, but for my partner. Your partner? You mean... Yes, Zach Grammari. Trucy's father. Before he disappeared 7 years ago, there was no name higher than Grammari in show business circles. None. I will see us return to glory. I, Valiant Grammari. Our founder, Magnifique Grammari, was truly a genius, a worker of miracles.
I'll never forget the one I saw when I was little. How he made that whole jumbo jet go, what happened to the jet again?
Apparently, someone doesn't remember it as well as they thought. Of all the would-be magicians who came to his door, only Zach and I had the talent. In no time at all, Valiant and Zach were the shining stars in the Grammari crown.
Cool, huh? And Zach Grammari was my daddy.
Now that Magnifique and Zach are gone, I have but one wish. Let it be I, Valiant Grammari, who brings the Grammari miracle back to the big stage.
I'm rooting for you.
Miss Trucy, you cannot grow up quick enough. I need your skill by my side.
One skill coming up.
How do we manage to get off the topic of the case so quickly all the time?
That's one big piano. I've never actually played one.
You should get Mr. Wright to teach you sometime.
No good. He can't play either.
I kind of feel bad for the guy now.
Maybe now's my big chance. Stand back. This could be the debut of a prodigy. Ew.
Did you make that noise just now?
Let me try it again. You know, I think something's stuck in the piano. Time to take a look under the hood. Huh, look, this was stuck between the strings. It looks like some kind of switch.
Someone must have thrown this into the piano. Can I ask you about this headset, Lamirar? You said that all concert staff were wearing one?
That's correct. You need them to communicate across such a large stage. Everyone on the staff had one, of course. And all of the band members too, I should think.
So Prosecutor Gavin and his lackeys had them on too, then?
They're quite helpful, though limited. They only work within 30 feet or so. After all, they're only for use on stage. And a stronger signal would interfere with the sound system.
That makes sense. You'd think someone would notice if they dropped their only communications lifeline. So why was this one lying here? Uh-oh. There's only one person I know who can munch with such venom.
What are you doing here?
Hello, Emma. You're looking as grumpy as ever.
Oh, am I supposed to be happy? You give me the second degree in court and Prosecutor Gavin makes me look like a fool.
You're talking about the bloodstain Mr. Latouche left?
My department chief had a field day with that one. Even a blind person could see the shooter wasn't blind. Funny guy, huh? But that bloodstain helped uncover the biggest mystery of all.
Now we know that Mr. Latouche was really with Interpol.
We wouldn't have found that out without you. I suppose. Maybe that's why the chief gave me these after he was finished chewing me out. Said it was my reward.
Are chocolate snackoos popular down at the precinct or something?
I was hoping we could check out the crime scene again. Be my guest, you're not going to find any clues in here. Though I did find something strange. Something strange? I met my embarrassment quota for the year, that's for sure. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? How? I mean, think about it. Now you don't have to be embarrassed about anything else all year.
If only it worked that way.
It just bugs me to think that that little kid outsmarted me. And it makes him even more suspicious now that we know he can see. He could have seen the air duct and he could have shot their revolver. But that's not how it sounded in Lamirar's testimony. You mean her saying she heard Detective Darian's voice at the scene? That's right. Why can't we have a normal, straightforward killing once in a while in this country? Because then we wouldn't have a game.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Was that true what you said in court today? You know, about the case? About how everything was happening according to those song lyrics?
The guitar's Serenade, you mean?
I found the link, you know. First, Prosecutor Gavin's heart-shaped keyring was stolen. Then, Lamirar flew through the air. Then, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar caught on fire. And in the end, a bullet took Mr. Latouche's life. And he went up into the sky with a guitar. Well, 15 feet up at least. It is kind of hard to chalk it up to coincidence, I know! And I found it. You think the same person did all this?
Don't ask me. I didn't do it.
Neither did I. I couldn't fit through that air vent anyway. What? You all think I did it?
Sometimes I worry about that girl.
So, what did you find? It's so little I must have passed over it yesterday. I found it under the sofa. What is it? Part of some device, I think. I haven't a clue what. The bit sticking out from the end looked familiar, so I had it examined. Turns out it's an antenna. Ooh, like on a beetle? Like on a cell phone. This device must use an electronic signal of some sort. An electronic signal, you say?
Do you think you could take a look at this? A small device. Looks like a transmitter. A transmitter? You press the switch here and it sends out a signal. No idea what it's for, though. A signal? You mean an electronic signal? What is it, Apollo? Say, Emma, you know that strange object you said you found? Oh, this? Let me try pressing this switch. Yow! It's on fire! Emma's device is on fire! What's the big idea? Ah! Well, now we know what this is, an igniter. This part here must work like a lighter. It nearly lit me up, that's for sure. Hey, don't look at me like that. I didn't do it on purpose. I suppose. At least we're getting somewhere with this case. Hey, Apollo, let's ask Emma more about this switch. Now that she has some first-hand experience. What are you trying to do? Burn me alive? Come on, it was just a few sparks. Says you weren't the one holding it. There's enough sparks flying around here just with you two talking. Anyway, now we know this is a remote for an igniter. Here, let me see that for a second. Well, this is definitely a little transmitter. The signal's weak, probably only reaches 30 feet. A transmitter, huh? Incidentally, if you look at a cross-section diagram of the stage area, let's see, 30 feet from La Mirage's dressing room. That covers the backstage completely. It also looks like it would cover the stage. It kind of seems unlikely that anyone would use this on stage. Guess I'd best be getting on with my investigation. We're off to look for more clues elsewhere then. I feel better just knowing what this thing is now. I'll have to look into igniters a bit more later. Good luck! I'd like to know a bit more about igniters myself. What, come to laugh at the murderer? Daryan! That old bag opens her pie hole and wham bam, my life goes down the chute. Thanks! They won't let me work while I'm a suspect. Daryan isn't in the best of moods, is he? Not many people are these days, it seems. It is a crime scene, not exactly the happiest place to hang out. Then Gavin had to go rub salt in the wound. My alibi's rock solid! Rock solid! So, about your alibi. You have to ask. The shooting happened right in the middle of the third set. That's right. The music was blaring when we heard those gunshots. And found Mr. Latouche dead. I've got 10,000 witnesses who saw me too. Right there on that stage. Your guitar playing was something else. Thanks, little lady. See? This whole thing's a sham. I can't believe they aren't letting me work. There's no need to yell at me. It's La Mirage's fault. She was the one who said she heard his voice at the moment of the crime. Man, I never even talked to that old windbag. How could she possibly identify me? They won't let you work? He won't let me work. Gavin says I gotta lie low till the suspicion is cleared. What suspicion? He can be such a stick in the mud. Mr. Gavin, a stick in the mud. He may look all flashy and showy, but he's straight as an arrow, man. Except when he's depressed. You hear him whining the other day? Oh, you mean the thing with the mixing board? And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ugh. It was you, Daryan! He's just a perfectionist is all. Not a bad guy, really.
Well, I think the Gaviners are the best. I have all your albums.
The band's fine, too. Gavin can write a good tune, I'll give him that. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Prosecutor Gavin around much. Oh, him? He's down at the prosecutor's office, most likely. Hey, the prosecutor's office. I've never been there, have I? The data on the victim should have come in from Interpol. Normally, I'd be down there dealing with it. Normally.
Apollo, let's go check it out. I've always wanted to see the prosecutor's office.
Maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Right on.
Say hi for me, okay? Oh, and screw you. And tell him I went into that crime scene. We'll be going now. Hey, wait. Yes? What do you really think happened? Really? You don't think I did it, right? Well, great. Way to instill a guy with some confidence. Just remember, I was ripping it up on stage when it happened, okay? Ripping! Don't get led astray by some siren song, eh? Get this one wrong and you'll be eating humble pie for a year. I'll bake it myself.
Let's not talk to him anymore, all right?
Detective Daryan Crescent. He's one stone I'd leave unturned if I had a chance.
So, this is it. The Gaviner's head office.
It's not the band's office, it's the prosecutor's office. Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. What is this creepy thing, object, whatever? Looks like Prosecutor Gavin is on the phone.
Oh, well, guess we'll have to come back. Or we can hide behind that bookshelf real quiet-like.
That's eavesdropping.
Why? We'd just be waiting quietly so he won't notice. What if we heard something scandalous about the band?
She'd make a good reporter for a gossip mag. What? A replica? So why was he after it in the first place? Yeah, Latouche. Latouche? Look, don't talk to me about those Borginians, okay? Just get me that report, chop chop. And stop leaving mysterious objects in my office, okay? It's times like this when I start to miss Daryan. Huh? Hiya.
Just thought we'd drop in. Hope you're not mad.
How could I be? There's not enough tee-hee in the world in any case. Have a seat. Prosecutor Gavin the Philanthropist.
Watch and learn, Apollo.
So, who have you come to see?
Huh?
Clavier, lead vocalist for the Gaviners? Or Prosecutor Gavin, scourge of the courtroom?
What do you think he means, Apollo?
I think he's giving us a choice. We can either ask him about the concert or the case. Which way to go? Ah, that reminds me. Did you see the paper today?
Yes! I always read the TV section.
Good girl. How about you, hair forehead? I read the funnies. Then you will not have seen this. Concert of Tragedy, the prosecutor's deadly song.
Ooh, is that a new show? I haven't heard about that one.
It's not a show, it's an article. News, you know?
Oh, does this have anything to do with the case?
Since getting back from the trial, my phone has been ringing off the hook. How does it feel to take a man's life with a song? Have you ever hummed a man all the way to death row? Do you think you could sing for me over the phone? It is endless, endless! Thanks to the case you made today, of course.
Oh, that was all Apollo's idea.
Hey! Is that a newspaper over there too? Ah, yes, the Borginian Daily Bugle. Go ahead, take a look. Thanks, but I can't read Borginian. Oh, that's right. Suffice it to say, this is big news over there as well. Though they didn't go so far as to mention the lyrics to my song.
Probably no one in Borginia could believe it.
It's probably seen as just a theory at this point. Their journalist didn't see the need to mention it. That makes sense. I hardly know what to think of it myself. Lamirar's testimony will probably be in the evening edition, I'd imagine. Which is why I've had Daryan step down from the investigation for now.
Yeah, we ran into him moping in front of the Coliseum.
Lamirar was my invited guest, so it is a rather delicate situation. You understand how much I want to solve this case, quickly if possible.
I really love that song. It has such a great atmosphere to it.
You co-wrote it with Lamirar, if I remember correctly? That's right. It was last year. I had gone to tour Borginia's legal system, as a matter of fact.
And that's when you heard Lamirar's voice?
It was at a small jazz club. I wept that night. I knew I had to meet her, to talk with her. So I used my influence, which is not inconsiderable, to arrange a meeting.
Wow, prosecutors really have a lot of clout.
I think he's sort of a special case, Trucy. Thankfully, she liked the work I did, and we wrote a song right there backstage. Machi on piano, that dulcet voice, and myself on a guitar that I borrowed from Lamirar.
And music history was made. Probably not an experience your average lawyer would ever have, like Apollo, say.
It is a memory I hold dear, and the song we wrote that night was this. And that very guitar is right over there. You mean this charred lump?
Don't call it a lump. That's a piece of history. And it's only browned, not really charred.
No matter, I shall never sing that song again. I wouldn't have used that guitar again either, even if I could have. What happened during that song anyway? Why did his guitar suddenly catch on fire?
Do you think you could show it to us? Your charred, slightly burnt guitar.
I'm sure he doesn't mind. What more could happen to it? That was an impressive bit of pyrotechnics that did this.
That's the guitar from the concert, isn't it?
I thought it was one of the staff playing a gag on me. I never guessed that wasn't the end of it. I had a specialist analyze the guitar, incidentally.
Oh? Did you find anything out?
He didn't have a lot of time, so it's still unclear. But the results he came up with were intriguing. Intriguing? How does that guitar tie into everything that went on?
Sounds like something we should ask about.
It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamirar.
How did it end up here?
She gave it to me. I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
So this guitar is from Borginia?
That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamirar's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched.
See, prosecutors do have a lot of clout.
I still think he's a special case.
Such a valuable guitar. It's too bad it got burned.
What was it that you were saying earlier? Something about intriguing results from an examination of the guitar?
That's right! What was that all about?
Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called the sound hole. Ah, so that's what it's called. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort.
A broken device?
Yes, this, in fact. The examiner is busy with evidence for the case now, however, so he'll be checking this out once he's finished with everything else. Odd. That device looks strangely familiar. It has to be one of these!
What is it, Apollo?
That device that was found in your guitar. Take a look at this. Why, that looks like the same thing. What is it? It's an igniter.
Another one?
It was at the crime scene in Lamirar's dressing room. Detective Sky found it, actually. At the scene of the crime? What could that mean, I wonder?
What's that on the plate there?
Is that gum?
Gum?
Maybe he was chewing on it when the phone rang? So he put it on the plate for later consumption.
You'd think a rock star could afford a fresh stick.
Don't jump to any conclusions now. That's no chewing gum. Take a closer look. Although I really shouldn't be offering, should I? What is that? It looks like a lump of plastic?
Wait, that phone call.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. What is this creepy thing, object, whatever? Looks like Prosecutor Gavin is on the phone. What? A replica? So why was he after it in the first place? Yeah, Latouche. Prosecutor Gavin, does this have something to do with Mr. Latouche? Wait a second. You were listening to my phone call, weren't you?
Who, us? I tried to stop him, really, but he forced me to.
Hey, you were the one digging for a scandal, Miss Reporter! To tell the truth, I'm not even sure what it is. But apparently, it's a model of something undercover agent Mr. Latouche was after.
This lump?
Would you mind telling us what you do know about it? This was found in Mr. Latouche's bag. It's apparently a replica of something. A replica? It's a small lump about 1.5 inches long. We analyzed it, but there's not much to say other than it's a lump of plastic. Perhaps it was to be used in the identification of whatever it is a replica of. You mean whatever Mr. Latouche was after? That seems to be the most logical explanation.
Well, what is it?
Don't ask me, Fraulein.
Oh, if you don't want to tell us, you could just say so.
I put in a request to Interpol via my contacts in Virginia, but apparently there is a block on information somewhere along the chain.
Oh?
There's something either Interpol or Virginia doesn't want to share. Something about this little piece of plastic. Mr. Latouche went through all that trouble to become Lamirar's manager, just to come to this country to find out more about this lump? And he died for it. I've sent someone to the Colosseum to fetch Lamirar. Perhaps she knows something about it, being a Borginian. I believe that covers everything I'm at liberty to talk to you about. Oh, thanks for dropping by, Hair Forehead. Thanks? Why, you gave me so much information. That igniter, for instance. Oh, that. I've never met an attorney so forthcoming with the prosecution. It's a big help. Or perhaps you're just a tad naive, I guess I could have hit it, but somehow showing it felt like the right thing. I could say the same to you, Prosecutor Gavin. Thanks for the information. About the strange lump of plastic. The one that Mr. Latouche was investigating.
Hey, that's right!
I've been thinking, Hair Forehead. We encounter many incidents in our lives, all of us. Not all of them simple. Especially not the ones where people are killing to song lyrics. That is why I try to at least remain simple inside. And I keep a simple goal, to discover the truth. That's why I like to keep relations civil, yeah? That is all. I can live with that.
Mr. Prosecutor?
Fraulein?
Can I ask you why you sing in a band?
Ah, because I want women to turn and look when I walk down the street. That's pretty simple too. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do. Another time, perhaps. Oh, it's you. You came at a good time. Hello there, Emma. What's up? Either of you know where La Mirar is? Well, I saw her in the backstage hallway a while ago. Yeah? That's strange. What's strange? I can't find her anywhere. I was supposed to bring her to the prosecutor's office. La Mirar's missing? Yeah, it's hard to imagine her wandering off somewhere on her own. Being that she's blind and all. Yeah, we'll help you look for her. Great, thanks. This place is deserted. I wonder where La Mirar went off to. I'm sure she's okay on her own. She seems resourceful. I guess, but I can't help worry about her a little. But worry about her. Huh? The stage is pitch dark. The power breaker must be off for this section. Great. I'll go get someone. Yipes, it was really dark out there. Dark. That's all La Mirar has when you think about it. What would it be like to live in a world of darkness? Hey, Apollo. Huh? What? Doesn't something about the stage seem different to you? Like something's changed? Changed? I can't put my finger on it, but it's bugging me. Now it's bugging me too. What's she talking about? Hey, that case! Wasn't that open before? Huh, I guess someone closed it. Wait, look, where the case closes. Something's sticking out. Oh, ad break. That doesn't look like an instrument. You don't think it's... Let's open it up, Apollo. Eee! La Mirar! La Mirar! Emma! We have to get Emma! La Mirar was taken directly to the hospital. Emma ran around barking orders, making phone calls. Trucy just clung to my arm and cried. And me, I was still in shock. 2 bodies in 2 days is too many. Emma, how's La Mirar? Is she okay? Ah, you. We all owe you a big thanks, that's for sure. So, she's okay? Yes, she came to a short while ago. You found her before it was too late. That's good to hear. So, what happened? Someone attacked her. She was struck on the forehead. By who? We don't know. But they hit her on the forehead, right? That's right in front of her. How could she not see? Oh. Right. Would you like to see her now? Is that all right? She wants to thank you for saving her life. Let me roar! Ah, Mr. Attorney, you were the one who found me? Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm just glad you're okay. Tell me, what happened? It was after I spoke with you in front of the dressing room. I sensed someone approaching. I thought it might be someone coming to see me, but they said nothing. Then I went to return to my dressing room. You were hit?
I knew that very moment. I knew the assailant was trying to kill me. No! It was lucky for me the first blow did not knock me out. I turned and ran for the stage. Someone was chasing me. I could hear footsteps. Yet I reached the stage first.
Why the stage?
I had overheard maintenance people talking. The power to the stage area was off, they said, for electrical work. Ah! Darkness is my ally. There was a contrabass case near the stage. That is where I hid.
So the assailant couldn't see you!
Once in the case, I'm afraid I passed out.
Wow, that sounds like a really close call. Do you have any idea who it might have been?
Unfortunately, no. Whoever it was, they said not a word.
Too bad.
Yet, when I consider that I was struck high on the forehead, I must conclude that whoever hit me was taller than I am.
Good point. She's sharp.
And you're much taller than I am. You're about as tall as Apollo.
So that means it was likely an adult, and probably a man. Could it be him?
But why would anyone attack you, Lamirar? The detective asked me this too, and to her I gave the same answer I give you. I do not know.
Ah, Lamirar, I wanted to ask you about this. Do you know what this is?
This is what?
Mr. Latus was carrying it. It's a replica of the thing he was after.
He was after? You know, in his secret identity. As an undercover agent. So that's what he was doing.
You mean you know what?
Yes, I know, of course. This must be a Borginian cocoon. Or rather, a convincing replica thereof.
Why haven't I heard of a Borginian cocoon before?
Why would he be carrying this around? Was it some kind of souvenir? I wonder. Well, they call it Borginian. It must only be found in Borginia. For certain, all in Borginia know of these. It's a cocoon. So do you get silk from it? I do not know the details, I am sorry to say.
I thought she said all in Borginia knew of these?
There is one fact I do know about the cocoon, though. Something all in Borginia know.
What's that?
The cocoons. They are not to be taken out of the country. If someone does and is caught, they will be put to death. To death?
Why?
I do not know. Yet, if Interpol was involved, I'm sure there is a good reason. But this is just a piece of plastic.
He was carrying a replica, but looking for the real deal. That's my best guess.
So that's what he was up to?
Tracking down Borginian cocoon smuggling. Ooh, close call there.
Smuggling. It seems I was marked.
Marked?
Life changed for me with the popularity of my songs. I began to travel around the world. Ah, so you could have brought those Borginian cocoons with you.
Lost chat for a moment there.
On my trips, yes. That is probably the suspicion.
And Mr. Latus was placed as an undercover agent to look into it.
Borginia is a small, sheltered country. Not many of our people venture into the world outside. Is that why they suspected you?
But Mr. Latus wasn't a Borginian, was he? He was an Interpol agent, which means...
What, Apollo?
There must be some reason why Borginia doesn't want those cocoons getting out. Something scary enough to get Interpol involved.
Huh? Like what? How could such a tiny ball of thread cause such a commotion?
Cocoon smuggling. And Mr. Latus had Lamirar marked. It couldn't be her.
Huh?
There's one other person I need to talk to. Thank you for talking to us, Lamirar.
It was the least I could do.
Actually, I have another request.
If it is within my power.
I need an interpreter, someone who speaks Borginian.
Apollo?
Would you come with us if you're well enough?
I see. Yes, of course. I shall accompany you. Huh? Where are we going?
Come on, Trucy. We're about to get to the bottom of this. Machi, we came to talk to you about the case.
Machi.
Could you interpret for us, Lamirar?
Yes.
Machi, I'd like to talk to you about when we first met. When we still thought you were blind. And now we know the truth. You can see, right?
I was completely fooled myself.
Machi, isn't there another secret you're hiding from us?
Wait, Mr. Attorney. What do you mean by secret?
What do I mean by secret? Well...
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, you know something about this, don't you?
Hey, you got a reaction! A big one! Machi, you didn't!
Trucy and I are trained to see people's uncertainty. Not that we would have needed any training to see that one.
Mr. Attorney, please tell me what this is all about.
Lamirar, please interpret!
Very well.
I know you know something about this by your reaction. If you won't tell me, I might have to give it to the prosecution. And have them look into it.
Sifradaka! He asked you to wait. Do not be so hasty. Machi? Swe? Do you know everything?
Yes, everything. Well, sort of.
Have him tell us about it. Oh, very well. What is this cocoon anyway?
Whoop.
The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure?
It must cure some disease.
It's a cure for incuritis.
I love this series. A cure for incuritis?
But if it's a cure, why keep it in Virginia like that? Just think of all the lives they could save by sharing the medicine. I do not understand the reasons myself.
Okay, well, at least we know what it is. A cure. And Mr. Latouche was after cocoon smugglers. Wait, was Machi?
Machi, you weren't. He couldn't be a smuggler. He's so little.
Well, you're only 15 and you're sort of a magician, aren't you?
Well, that's true. I am sort of a magician.
She said sort of. Oh, to have a copy of that security camera tape.
Well, Machi, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me. First he plays blind, now he plays dumb.
I wonder. Do you think he brought a cocoon here to sell it to someone? If Machi really did bring one into the country, was he planning on making a deal for its sale?
Ninamara! I can't go home. Can't go home? Affidabada! I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death.
That's right, it's punishable by death!
About the case. What about the case?
He wants to tell us about Mr. Latusse's death? Sudden Budalap. This meeting's over. Daryan? What do you mean? Visiting hours aren't over yet? There's a call from Machi from the Borgidian embassy. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy. We're leaving. Daryan, wait! I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Darn it, we were so close! He was about to tell us! Hey, Apollo? He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. Apollo! And there can be only one reason why. Why is everyone ignoring me? Oh, sorry. This is it. I know who I'm after now. It all happens tomorrow, in court! Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy. We're leaving. Daryan, wait! I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Huh? Darn it, we were so close! He was about to tell us! Hey, Apollo? He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. Oh, connection is dropped. There we go. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice! Eee! What was that? He is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valid Grimari! I exclaimed as he walked in through the door. Normally. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valen? Ah, ha, 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 ha. A preposterous proposition. How could I stand to stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ooh, with vanishing magic? Indeed! I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? A grand Grimari glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. Glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great delusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things, like people or elephants, or the Eiffel Tower, anything really. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert. La Mirar's disappearing act. And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Ah, excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business. Great, I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son.
Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
There's an article about it in the newspaper, if you care to read about it yourself. Incuritis? Where have I heard that before?
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me.
Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. Ahem. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again?
Machi Tabai, our suspect fortissimo.
Oh, right. It's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready to rock.
Is something wrong, Your Honor?
No, well, yes. It's just I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Incuritis, was it? That article said there is no known cure. Herr Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law.
Indeed. We left off at quite the junction yesterday.
I asked Interpol about that number. IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out now. Wait! That voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him?
That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Daryan. No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Daryan would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect?
I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings.
Daryan Crescent is a member of my band, the Gaviners. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Herr Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi.
An alibi?
Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Gaviners ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guests took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamirar, and Machi, along with the drummer and bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamirar and the defendant, Machi Tabai, had left the stage at that point. And the Gaviners were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you. And Apollo, you heard them too, right?
I sure did.
Furthermore, Lamirar herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking.
But that's impossible! Detective Crescent was...
Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi!
Does the defense have anything to add to this?
It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up.
It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Daryan Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged.
which means that La Mirror was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true.
Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections.
Uh-oh, Apollo! If he declares a verdict now! Ah! But Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight! La Mirror might have been lying to protect Machi! How can I rely on her testimony? Wait! What about yesterday in the detention center? Says about him. About the case. What about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Latus's death? This meeting's over. Daryan? Machi was trying to tell us something, I know it! Maybe the best thing to do is ask him. Under oath!
Very well. The court finds the defendant, what was his name again?
Objection! Your Honor!
No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis or, Mr. Justice.
Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Tabai to the stand.
What? But he doesn't speak English.
We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as I love you and where's the toilet. The defense would like to request La Mirror as the interpreter.
La Mirror? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant.
But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie?
This is most unusual.
Bravo, Herr Forehead. Herr Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If La Mirror lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that.
Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal.
Finally, some progress.
Bailiff, please show the defendant and La Mirror to the witness stand.
I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with, if you would, La Mirror. Yes. He says Machi Tabai, the defendant.
This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular.
So far, so good.
Very well. Mr. Justice, if you would.
Huh? If I would what, Your Honor?
Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about?
What do I want him to testify about? I hadn't thought that far yet. Apollo! Aren't you going to ask him what he was going to tell us, what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me, a moment if I might speak?
Yes, La Mirror?
Just now, Machi said there is something about which he wishes to testify. Machi wants to testify about something? What could it be?
What sort of testimony is he talking about?
One moment, please. The suspense is killing me. What?
Well, La Mirror?
According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence.
What?
This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means.
Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. La Mirror, Machi. Please testify to the court.
Very well. He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them.
I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely.
I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask La Mirror to know the meaning of that song.
La Mirror, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? La Mirror might be protecting the witness.
Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would.
Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday, it'll work today. Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment La Mirror said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? Well, what are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language. That is all. What? Give me a break! Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well, then explain this! How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple, so simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. The newspaper? The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know. They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right! Agent, what is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they are quite fierce all of a sudden. Machi is lying! Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying. Take that! I have here a Borginian newspaper, the Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics! What? What is this all about? I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper! Savargeva! What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So, the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less.
The witness will explain himself.
Machi says, he says...
Yes?
It is true I read the newspaper, but this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. What?
Is this true, Lamirar?
Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. Then it looks like Herr Forehead's been jumping to conclusions again.
It seems so, yes.
No! No! I was on to something, I know it! I can't let this chance slip away!
Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with the cross-examination?
What are you going to do, Apollo? If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else! My bracelet's still reacting! Your Honor, please allow me to continue.
If you must, you must. Very well. Witness?
I understand. It was I who explained that the crime followed the song. Lamirar, I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained. I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you. Lamirar, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer for you. Lamirar, you're protecting... Take that! Lamirar, you are protecting Machi. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it. Really, I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lamirar lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Ah!
Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little only.
What?
First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Lamirar? No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is this witness hiding?
Last. This is last.
Machi, could you tell us what really happened?
No shooting! I did no shooting!
So, you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either.
I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, he on floor.
Which would be after the shooting, right?
Then there is voice.
Voice? Or voices?
Was it you and Emma, Apollo?
So when Machi went into the dressing room, Mr. Latus had already been shot. And then we came to the door.
Panel high up. I take off. Run away. Run away.
So it was you who escaped through that air vent. As the prosecution has upheld all along, no less. The defendant is admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession?
Objection!
No! He's clearly denied that he did it!
I no shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
Objection!
The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This could only mean one thing. He is the shooter.
Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness?
Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait! No, of course there is!
What is this cocoon anyway? Serenade.
The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure.
A cure? Well, Machi, are you a smuggler? Serenade.
He won't tell me. That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please, tell us the truth for your own sake.
No more speak. Not to any of you.
So much for your precious trust, Hair Forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse.
It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed.
Apollo Eustace.
That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some.
Believe, I know shooting.
Machi claims Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it? Suddenly, I hear a revolver. Close, very close. Then, I hear voice.
You heard gunshots?
Yes, it's true. I hear a revolver, but only sound.
Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead and then you heard shots? If that's true...
So, you were at the scene of the crime and you heard those shots?
And you escaped through the air vent.
I know.
Huh? What do you know?
I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Huh, yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. I hear this from magician.
Magician?
Don't look at me.
A magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's going to go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. So, what do we do?
You sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking, no. Well, it was worth a shot.
That cocoon.
I can't go home. Can't go home? I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death.
That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course, he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo. So, what's your plan?
If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. So, will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What?
Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to examine the witness in this case, Lamirar.
Lamirar?
Objection!
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamirar's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamirar was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted?
Someone wanted Lamirar dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamirar? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
You don't think?
I do! It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So, am I to understand that this is what you are saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamirar's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly.
If Lamirar was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamirar's testimony once more.
Lamirar, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Daryan Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice?
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court?
Of course, Your Honor. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamirar was attacked because of this testimony. What? Trucy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness?
Daryan Crescent? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There is no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course.
Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Lamirar, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter, then. Daryan Crescent.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch, now.
Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche?
I thought it quite strange myself afterward.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this?
I mean, sure. I'd be delighted. It's, very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony.
Maybe Apollo?
From the small window, I heard a voice say, press the switch, now.
Objection!
Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens I have a switch right here. And I hope to have a switch too.
That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it?
The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage.
The stage?
Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage.
Are you claiming that the voice Lamirar heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch?
It's a possibility.
Objection!
Oh, Herr Forehead, I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamirar's dressing room. Not to mention that the Gaviners were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too have Herr Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard from the stage, on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would have been easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room.
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this? Why is that?
What? What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking?
This is a type of transmitter, a communications device.
Communications device?
From what I've heard, that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. They're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple.
Objection!
True, but wait. Those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited.
Lamirar said it was about 30 feet, right?
Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Exactly! The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be!
So, when Lamirar heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
Objection!
Ha! You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact.
Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch.
Well, I guess we don't.
An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where this switch was, there's little point in debating it.
I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch anyway? We don't even know what that basic fact. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case.
What's up, Apollo? Apollo?
We know about this switch, right? We know what it is.
Yeah?
Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch...
Your Honor!
Yes, Mr. Justice?
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. It's a game console.
Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is?
Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this? Ah! That's
what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones?
This is an igniter. What phone looks like this?
Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter?
Yes, actually. You aren't saying this switch is a remote? I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you.
Yo! Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom.
Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expected.
If my whiskers had caught on fire...
Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote ignition igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah! Exactly! That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance.
Wasn't that part of the stage show, though?
Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake.
That's right, he got it in Virginia from Lamirar. He said the sound was amazing. Before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes.
The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Hair forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lamirar, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire? I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire.
Well, that does seem to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it.
really. It seems pretty simple to me.
Objection!
Hair Forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong.
What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin?
His simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes? The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Ah, that's right, of course! The guitar caught fire during La Mirar's song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated.
Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty.
See, his story makes no sense.
Objection!
Are you sure about that?
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far.
What premise is this specifically?
I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act.
Objection!
What's this? But Detective Emma Skye heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act.
Objection!
Gunshots rang out. And according to his testimony, Machi was in that dressing room at the time.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice?
Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony. Namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote trigger igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What?
Order! Order! Order!
Ad break.
But that goes against the evidence!
What does, Your Honor?
This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes?
Hey, he's right. Look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire.
You're thinking about it the wrong way.
Huh?
Look, why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it.
Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason.
Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose?
Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin?
If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet, Herr Forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he followed the lyrics the whole way.
Order! 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 That would explain this most unusual situation.
It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second.
Objection!
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction, Hair Forehead, one I've pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could La Mirage have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. La Mirage's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice.
But what if she couldn't hear it, Apollo?
Look, what do we have? A man saying, press the switch. And near the crime scene, we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how La Mirage heard the voice?
A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court?
Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove and one thing only. La Mirage heard a voice. And she heard it during the second set. Think, how is La Mirage able to hear the voice? When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open either. Meaning, it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Borginian too. As I was saying, La Mirage could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. That sounded offensive.
What's this?
You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now, I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Hair Forehead? La Mirage clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window. And there is only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene?
There is?
I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim La Mirage heard the voice from another location? Mr. Justice, show us where this location was.
La Mirage heard the voice from here.
Take that!
This is where La Mirage heard that voice from.
But that's no small window. That's the air vent.
What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window.
Objection!
Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So La Mirage was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Hair Forehead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? Ha! It hardly merits saying. Why would La Mirage be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamirar? You have been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? There was a lot of offense to her. No. I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. Ugh. The problem here is words. Lamirar, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. What?
Order! Order! I will have order! Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you, in fact, saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime?
Yes, in fact, I was. I am sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there?
I believe it's time for another testimony.
I'm not sure I can't.
May I remind you this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please.
Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
But bound to secrecy?
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail.
That's what the cross-examination is for, hair forehead. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Look, what are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her.
Objection!
Lamirar, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video. As we can see, Lamirar was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Oh, though it saddens me to be so realistic. Lamirar is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So, the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum.
Apollo!
But what, Trucy?
It's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets, and it's against the rules.
But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There is only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed.
Aha!
He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here, we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear of the forum.
Ah! Oh!
Recall Lamirar's testimony from yesterday.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling.
Lamirar knew of this because of her part in the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew.
What?
Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something.
I know if I open vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know.
Which is why he bound Lamirar to secrecy. Well, Lamirar?
I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi was right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused.
Why is that, Your Honor?
As I said before, there was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops! How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice.
That's a good question.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I cannot.
Very well, Mr. Justice.
Yes?
It's all up to you. Do your thing.
What thing, Your Honor?
You need to explain how Lamirar was able to teleport like she did. Or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater.
Why do I get picked on? It's Lamirar who isn't going along with the program here.
As I've stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail.
Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Yes, if you would, please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals.
Good luck, Apollo! I followed the routes exactly as I was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something.
As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamirar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video.
I figured it out already. I am a magician after all.
Well, tell me.
Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets. Come on.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here.
Hold it!
2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you are running.
Running? In that cramped dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Haha, Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
Ah, that's true, but
So, you're saying that on the night of the concert you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Lamirar disappears on the video for 20 seconds, but she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the answer's right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony?
Evidence explaining the discrepancy? There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between video and testimony.
Take that!
Lamirar, do you happen to remember this brooch?
Aha! The brooch! We saw that yesterday, did we not?
It was found at the scene, Your Honor.
And you're bringing this up now, why? I thought we had already determined that was, determined when that was dropped.
So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Here you can see she's wearing the brooch.
So she is.
Let's look a bit later.
What? The brooch! It's gone!
What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there could be only one explanation. The Lamirar we see before the vanishing act and the Lamirar we see after are two different people!
What?
The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamirar, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage at the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin!
From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Herr Judge. I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time.
So, I was right? There was a switch?
There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamirar was replaced.
While we're on the subject, just who was this replacement Lamirar?
Why, the man behind the illusion, Valent Grammari.
It was Grammari? That's quite the illusion. But I still don't get one thing.
Yes?
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So if you weren't on this, so you weren't on the stage.
That's right.
But this fake Lamirar is still singing. And she's pretty good.
That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They were just playing a recording.
The Gaviners aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein.
Oh, you mean I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play it live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamirar?
Very well.
Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing even while I moved.
Hold it!
You were singing? Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling toward the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing when everywhere I go is the same darkness?
But if you were singing while you were walking...
That's right! Wouldn't the shooter and victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads after all.
That is right.
Are you sure?
You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing him as someone singing in the ceiling.
Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime.
What state?
Ah! I know what he means! That old speaker, Apollo!
The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder.
Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up. Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually.
So Lamirar singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lamirar singing over the speaker.
Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice!
Ah,
Lamirar?
I have just remembered something.
Do tell!
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, so I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing. The song stopped? Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice.
Forehead! That mixing board I lent you. Where is it? The mixing... Huh?
That machine, Apollo! The one that breaks music into tracks!
Oh, this! I'd completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen. The song does stop there.
It does? I must have missed it.
Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again.
This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake.
The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamirar's ballad.
If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter.
Which means that Daryan Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
Hair Forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lamirar's testimony.
Yes? Is there a problem with this?
Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she is lying to protect the defendant?
Objection!
But you have no proof.
All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself.
The man? You don't mean...
Yes. Though he is a friend and band member, Darion Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way.
As someone with a new perspective on the case?
As a suspect, to be frank. Finally! The rat's coming out of his hole! And I'm ready to catch him! Darion Crescent, get ready for justice!
This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin.
I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are.
Very well, court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
Apollo! I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lamirar's performance?
The reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch in the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took.
Ah, Daddy!
Mr. Wright! You believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping?
Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed.
Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy?
Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi Tabai off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darion Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our Diva Divine is telling the truth.
But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch?
A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case.
But
if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional means. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is.
what are these, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the one kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa?
Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy.
Right, this! Well, finally some evidence that makes sense. That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darion Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door just like a magician. Normally.
What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean?
I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes.
I guess.
We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy.
Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent?
In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time.
No, very well.
Might I add, I don't believe any of this. He, Daryan, was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Hair forehead.
Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Daryan Crescent.
Name and occupation, please.
Daryan Crescent, Detective, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us.
Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today?
Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here.
The situation's changed, Daryan. And don't call me partner.
So much for old friends.
I see what you're doing, Daryan. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we can begin the trial?
Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamirar's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha!
Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing.
The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
So you claim Lamirar's testimony was a lie?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind.
You go too far, Daryan.
Look, all I'm saying is you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective?
Detective Skye? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamirar's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place.
Objection!
Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial.
What things?
The first was this small device. That's the remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing.
What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope.
Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Eh? How did Gavin know about this? What, do you think Detective Skye works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
I registered Daryan as a witness in today's trial, just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been 2 firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control.
You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me.
How so?
So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when the 2 witnesses came walking by? Ha!
That's right! Daryan was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then?
If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, you get my drift. Why go through the trouble, man?
How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Daryan is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it.
He may not look it, partner. Chief, thanks, man.
That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right! We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage.
Whose side are you on, Gavin?
Listen to me, Daryan. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Hair Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half?
Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin?
Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless.
Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set?
Yeah, I think. You'd better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can't be proven! You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you.
Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness, your testimony, if you would.
This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof, and fast!
You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. The shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof.
Objection!
It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lamirar's song.
Her song?
What exactly is this, device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps?
Come on, we just used this! And don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part.
Art?
You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamirar's voice included.
Ho ho! But what does this prove?
According to Lamirar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly.
Ha! Ridiculous! How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage?
Have you forgotten, Daryan? We were all wearing these headsets.
Oh.
We were all deeply involved in our performance, but Lamirar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same.
Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now!
Lamirar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots! Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamirar's vocals.
I did hear something faintly there, yes! Why, it sounded like a gunshot!
But what? This has to be some kind of mistake! I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamirar's testimony was true. Gah!
Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon?
Lamirar was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Once again, I'm reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Hair Forehead. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Achtung! My hog won't start, my guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burned to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ah! It was you, Daryan! I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well,
You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's .45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait! You mean his playing was affected because he heard himself shooting that revolver? Ha! You're forgetting something!
Yes, Detective Crescent?
I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training. Plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent!
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey, you, attorney! Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes. Not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great, now I need to find a motive.
Objection!
Your Honor, take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like candy.
It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings.
A cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It is a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else.
All right, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it?
It does! Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man.
A cocoon? Is this one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of?
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
A curative? For what?
Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware.
Intriguing.
All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol?
Right! The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager, he was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous! Totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal.
Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover.
You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what.
Objection!
Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this?
That article! That's about the Chief Justice's...
A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease, a cure for incuritis.
Incuritis! I've heard of that somewhere.
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning!
Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has! You aren't saying...
Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice.
You are saying... The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband!
Not even to save his own son's life?
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal!
That's Detective Crescent's insurance! If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice!
Detective Crescent, is this true?
First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to bid on me anyway?
Distasteful as it is to think about it, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller.
Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well, oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Borginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out.
So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
Borginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country, no checks.
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor?
I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like La Mirar. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Virginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in La Mirar's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum-packed in Borginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia! What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right?
Work?
Good memory, Hair Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact.
An igniter!
Exactly! Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course.
Oh!
There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band! Yo!
Order! So the igniter
Was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution!
A precaution?
Hair Forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamirar's ballad, if you would. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar.
I see.
But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Whoop, ad break. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler.
What's that?
Mr. Latouche.
Ah!
Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch. Now! The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then, Mr. Latouche died, with Lamirar there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man.
Detective Crescent?
I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Daryan. The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Let's see you make up a story for that, kid.
How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh?
It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Borginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamirar heard proves it.
It's over. Press the switch. Now!
You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are we ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
Take that!
There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tabai.
But Mr. Justice, he's your client.
A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one.
I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lamirar?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamirar was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamirar could still have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar Serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lamirar stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamirar's position in the air vent.
Oh!
Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that?
Your Honor,
Yes, Detective?
could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time?
Well, I don't see why not.
But what? Don't tell me he has a way out of this.
Too bad, so sad. Punk!
Punk?
First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Daryan?
Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all.
Care to explain for us non-musicians?
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the Wii pianist to set off that igniter? That right?
Yes.
Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano?
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine.
And that's the problem. Man, you still don't get it? Yeah, how is he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. Let me roar. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch.
The piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong?
I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. Well, what's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Mr. Justice, if Machi Tabai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice.
You got the facts wrong, man. Hi, Mew. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tabai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch.
Well, you'd better find a way to prove it.
Ah! Sure. Oh. It's meant to be shark, but yeah, you could call it skunk if you want. What do I do? What do I do?
Ah, there has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd.
Something odd. Wait a second.
What? You thought of something?
What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Yeah, but also counterpoint Sharpedo. And also the rest of him is shark-based.
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this? Can you prove Machi Tabai pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi Tabai pressed that switch?
I don't know if you call this proof, per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Hair Forehead, you're sure about this?
Ha! Accept it! There's no evidence, man!
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch?
Take that!
The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Yeah.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
I hear a piano being played.
But, doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. Ha! What, sir, some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah, you got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he is a pianist. Could he? Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry. So sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? Yeah, Gavin always looks relaxed. He knows his part in the courtroom, and he plays it well. You can't! I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No way.
Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it.
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Hair Forehead.
Realized what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar burst into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace."
Ah! Play verse 2 again!
There, did you hear that?
They feel the same, true. But they're clearly very different.
What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. Oh. What's that prove? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Diane. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh! That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. No!
Order! 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 I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over. I don't like where he looks like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Hair Forehead. Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts anyone can see it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it!
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Oh, I think if he did, we already would have seen it a long ways back.
It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? What? The truth is staring us all right in the face! Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional methods. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo. What, this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Herr Forehead, you are accusing this man, Darian Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Here, then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent.
Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's plan is... Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is... It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence. But perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order. But I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt?
Take that!
The one person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tabai!
Your client? Again?
Machi Tabai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Aha! Very scientific of you.
Thus, if Machi Tabai acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Virginian cocoon, the case is solved! Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little tea tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law. Ah! Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts, by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia. And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today. Including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tabai. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Machi Tabai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please, don't talk! Daryan, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes. Shredded my... In a way, I suppose.
And you'll talk? You tell this court everything?
I didn't want it to turn out this way. But I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from beginning. I knew. Machi. Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tabai,
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And, with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tabai.
Yeah, meant to be a little angel.
Court is adjourned.
I wonder what'll happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Machi's made of mochi. So that means he's possessed by Pichirunt? Daddy! I owe you both my thanks.
Lamirar?
My, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage, your friend! Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now, I do. Yet, something got a hold of him, something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry! Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny, I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Lamirar lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Painting?
That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all.
I will paint the two of you, I promise.
Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamirar!
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission.
Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon.
You bet! Me too!
And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on, until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar's Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
have them catch the killer at the end.
the final case will happen another time. Next week. That might have been a bit too much for me. I had to use 2 cough drops. Always is. Thank you. Alright, who's rateable today? Well, Penny still seems to be on her subathon and is currently doing Balatro. Suppose it wouldn't be bad to say hi then. We have arrived at our destination. Please watch your step as you disembark. Please follow if you liked. Thanks for watching. Peace be with you, and may the forces of evil be confused on the way to your home. Bye.